Back on the Morning Brew for you today. We're just getting underway for the week ahead, and it's always good to start the week focusing on business and our friends from Albuquerque Business First, always here first thing Monday morning. And Damon Scott is with us. Damon is one of the key reporters at Albuquerque Business First, and real estate's one of his beats. Good to see you, Damon, by the way.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
And the real estate scene, the article is about commercial real estate and some ladies that are making it happen.
That's right. I was able to do a cover story on women in commercial real estate, and it was it's been interesting because I've sort of followed these women over the last year or so, and they've been doing a lot of deals. There's a networking group in Albuquerque for women in commercial real estate, and so I sort of took that as a jumping point into this particular cover story.
And that group has been building, I mean, every year. So I go to their events sometimes, their big luncheons, and it's amazing how many people are there.
It's true. It's true. They, what I discovered was, they're called Crew, which is just commercial real estate women, and there are chapters all over the country. But the one here in Albuquerque is one of the younger ones. However, they particularly over the last couple of years, they've really grown, and so they're getting up to about 100 members, which for a market Albuquerque size is actually that's
really big.
Quite an accomplishment.
I think so. Now we have a picture of the ladies that the article is focused on. There's three of them, right? And
that's
they
right.
are.
I was going to say the three. They just selected their leaders for 2014, and so that was nice because there are literally hundreds of women who are involved in commercial real estate in Albuquerque and also throughout New Mexico. But this gave me a chance to look at those. There's 11, but the three that you see on the screen, those are the sort of the top three of the group that are kind of, organizing the events and, setting the plan for the year and that kind of thing for Crew. And so I was able to kind of focus on them in particular, and then I did little profiles on the other, so it would be the other 8 women who are directors of the group as well. And so we were able to do little profiles of them too, which is really nice.
Very nice. And a lot of people talk about real estate, oh, it's on decline, and oh, it's not looking so great. But this story is actually very positive about how they're really thriving in commercial real estate.
I think so. It's true, and the women that I talked to for this article would say that in fact, one of the questions I asked sort of all 11 of them was, what is 2014 kind of, how does it feel for you? What is it? How do you think business is going to be? And I would say out of all 11, they're very optimistic. These ladies are involved in everything from banking, commercial real estate banking, to engineering, to construction. They're building, they're developers, investors, and brokers as well. And so it's kind of a wide mix of everything that kind of goes into commercial real estate.
What little I know about commercial real estate, and it's a little, but the deals are far more complex. There's far more players involved, investors, sellers, buyers. I mean, you're dealing with C-level executives who are, signing off on sometimes multi-million-dollar properties. And so these deals get sophisticated, and these ladies have to match that sophistication to get deals done. Any little thing that can happen can unravel a multi-million-dollar deal, and that's a big thing.
No, that's absolutely true. That's something I've learned as well. And one thing that they've told me that helps them, it goes back to the Crew network that they're involved in, is they say that Albuquerque is a little bit different as a market, in that when you meet somebody, you're very likely to meet them again in your, not only just in your career, but maybe the next week or
especially in Albuquerque.
Especially in Albuquerque, whereas some other markets you might not see the same person that you do a deal with ever again. And so they say camaraderie and collaboration is a big deal in Albuquerque to get these really complex.
Speaking of that, I'm curious, Damon. Are these ladies competitors, or some of them work together, or what's the status?
They are competitors, although I will say, realistically, they are competitors on a lot of deals. But I'll say that one reason they have been so successful is because they have collaborated to get deals done. And so, talking about the complexity of some of these deals, I would say, it wouldn't be wouldn't be odd for one deal to have 5 or 6 people involved, and so they really use that as a way to sort of advance all of their interests.
I see. That's nice.
It is.
That's
it
really
is.
nice.
So it's no, and one of the sort of angles on the article is commercial real estate is one of those industries that is male dominated traditionally,
Yeah.
and so I kind of took a look at that, but it was interesting because really the bigger part of the story was that at least here in Albuquerque in this market, that is not as big of an issue as you might think it is.
Yeah.
That was one of the questions I had is, was it really difficult to sort of get your foot in the door? Was it difficult to be successful and to thrive and grow? And it hasn't held any of these women back was one of the points that they wanted to make. So
Well, good for them.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I was going to ask is, so it is kind of, it hasn't really stopped them in a man's world
That's
in a
right.
way. So.
No, that's absolutely right. And when you think of maybe residential real estate, you might think of maybe more females being involved in that part of the industry as opposed to commercial. But one of the points of this cover story was that it's actually in the Albuquerque market, it's something that hasn't where women are very much involved in many deals and as Larry says, these deals involve a lot of people. Well, their hand has probably been in most of them.
Yeah, and it's pretty unique here in Albuquerque
I
for
think
that
so.
to happen.
I think so. It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. That was something interesting that came out of it.
Commercial real estate's also broken up into kind of different categories too. There's the retail space, there's office buildings, there's industrial property. The women that you met, do they specialize in particular areas or?
They do. I would say, I talked to, there are quite a few that are involved in office, maybe a little less in the industrial side, but office and retail, absolutely. And then also, new development too. There's a new development on the west side called Unser Pavilion that Jeannie Springer Knight of Knight 5 Investments has been involved in. And so she has launched a very successful development on the west side. It's got Rio Rancho's first Einstein Bagels as one of their tenants, which I guess has just been going gangbusters. And so it's existing properties that they're involved in, but it's also new properties. And one of the pictures in the story is of the old Highland Theater that's now the National Dance Institute. It's sort of the East Nob Hill area, and that was one of the deals that they were involved in, and they've been involved in a lot of the larger medical facilities, like the Rust Medical Center, the Presbyterian Rust Medical Center was one. So everything from really big commercial deals to, perhaps smaller, retail deals, really has run the gamut.
Yeah. Now, did they touch at all about the financial institutions being involved with Crew? Because I know a lot of people are, on the side of actually financing the real estate plans, they're very involved in Crew. Did they mention any of that in this article?
A little bit. We touched on that a little bit, and I think that's true. Is that one of the things countrywide is that financing for large commercial real estate projects has been very tight through the recession, and so. But I think that's loosening up a little bit, and so within Crew there are people that work at Wells Fargo Bank and other financial institutions, and so that's the other leverage point that they use with each other when they get together, is to be able to have someone that represented in that industry, just in case someone is looking for some financing for a particular project.
They kind of have an end to help them with getting that financing.
No, absolutely.
When a deal concludes and it closes, do they celebrate each other's success?
They do.
Because these things are, they take a long time to but boy, when it finishes, the payday's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a sweet moment.
I think so. I think one of the things they do is part of it is a social atmosphere, and so they will get together and talk about their success. Absolutely, absolutely. But because you're right, a lot of these deals, they
take years.
They can take years to come to fruition. It's very true.
Wow, great talking to you, Damon. Anything else at Albuquerque Business First? Another week, another full of.
It's another week. I'm always excited on Monday because there's always something new that pops up on Monday. And so as soon as check out the website later today, there's bound to be something interesting.
It's always busy over there.
It is. It definitely is.
Pick up a copy of Albuquerque Business First or read it online, and a lot of good business data there for you each and every week, and we appreciate their talented staff coming down here to chat with us every Monday morning, Aaron.
Yeah,
it's really
thank
nice.
you.
Thank
Great
you.
to lead off the week, Damon. Thank
All
you.
right.
Great article. Appreciate it very much. Damon Scott
you
with
subscribe.
Albuquerque Business First. There's the latest issue. What Boys Club, it says.
Yeah.
And we'll have more next. We're going to network our way to the next segment. Stacy Sacco is with us. We'll talk about some of the big charity events that are going on that you can
there's a
network
lot.
at and how to do it. That's next on the Morning Brew. Stay with us.